I guess, I should call the meeting to order. It is May 28th. Call the meeting to order for the Historic Landmarks Commission.
Let's call a roll. Commissioner Castillo-White.
Present.
Chair Jansen.
Here.
Commissioner Kester.
Present.
Commissioner Landers. Vice Chair Steffen.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Where's Donna?
I don't know. Shoot an email.
All right. For anybody who would like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, will you join us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, hello. You're next on our agenda, but first we have to make sure that we don't have any public comment on non-agenda items. Is there any public comment on Zoom on non-agenda items?
Aaron's Paul Wilcox, Troutdale.
Yeah, hi, Paul.
Hi. I watched the, actually I was present for part of it, the committee selection committee meeting. And it looked like your group is going to come up short. So I'm thinking maybe somebody needs to decide what constitutes a quorum for the HLC. So I just wanted to mention that. Just wanted to mention that possibility.
Okay, I appreciate that. I think that we're okay. We have 5-6 people on the commission still, and then we've got one alternate. So I think the staff was going to call the alternate to see if she wanted to step into the one vacant position.
Yeah, I think, Aaron, what Paul probably missed was the last minute discussion that we had probably after the recording was ended.
Yeah. Paul, just a heads up, Adrian was going to step away and then decided not to at the end after the meeting kind of was wrapping up. And so Adrian is still a part of it, but Frank stepped away. And that's the spot that is vacant now is Frank's, not Adrian's. And that is the spot that we are checking to see if the alternate wants to fill. But with that said, we have had vacancies in the past, and there's just a quorum is based upon my understanding and what we did in the past. Please clarify if you think we're wrong, but that the quorum was based upon a percentage of the number of positions filled, I think is how we did it in the past. So, well, if you know different, please let us know.
Yeah, that's actually the way I assumed it would work. Say you drop down to 5, then a quorum would be 3.
Yeah. And if it was only 3, I don't even know if we would meet. We'd probably wait until 4, but.
You just go to a coffee shop.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you bringing that up though, but I think we're still in pretty good shape. Again, we seem to kind of come out of it pretty well, but thanks. I'm curious, Paul, can you see us or do you just see gold?
I just see gold screen.
Yeah, we don't know what's wrong with our camera. Sorry about that.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other comments from the public on agenda items? Okay, if not, thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. With that, we have with us Multnomah County Transportation Department. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully your knees are okay then.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Megan Neal. I'm an engineering services manager with Multnomah County Transportation, and with me today today is?
Good evening. Hi, I'm Ryan Rucker. I'm an engineer with Multnomah County.
And we're really excited to have this opportunity to kind of share with you this new project that we're kicking off. It's called the Stark Street Bridge Replacement Project. Today we really would like to walk this group through an overview of the project and what its goals are, why we're doing it, kind of a general timeline, where we are in that timeline, and then talk through some engagement opportunities that are happening right now as part of a series that will happen over the next year, and then answer any questions you may have. I'll just say we really were interested in briefing this group because this whole project is really about a historic cultural resource. So while we are going to walk through and talk about how in bad condition the bridge is and how it's not meeting our current needs, I will say we are exploring options that are looking at preserving the existing bridge. So I just want to put that out there before we step into the presentation. We're excited to also kind of come back a few times over the year as the project progresses, just to kind of share with you our key findings.
Are you going to, I'm going to move because it's just really not great for my neck to do that. So, I'm going to go to your position. Go to
Yeah, there you go.
Hi.
Go right
Do you
ahead.
want the lights off, or you guys?
A little bit would be good. Do you guys mind if we hit one or
that's fine.
two? Oh, that's great. Thanks.
Next slide, please. So just to provide a kind of a brief overview of the why of this project, this bridge is over 100 years old, constructed in 1914, about right at the time when the historic Columbia River Highway was built. It no longer meets our current design standards. It doesn't really safely accommodate today's users. You might have seen in the news over the last few years, all the kind of accidents and repairs that we're having to deal with due to its narrow width. Also, its age really doesn't allow it to meet our current load carrying requirements, so it's currently load restricted, but as Ryan will mention a little bit further, we had to take some additional measures to restrict its use, just given all the issues we're having with this bridge. So this project is really about building a resilient crossing of the Sandy River that is to be structurally sound, low maintenance, and safe for all users for the next 100 years. And if you think about it, the crossings that are out there today along the Sandy River, you have the ODOT-owned bridge here closer to town, and then the county's bridge out by Stark Street. Both those bridges are highly vulnerable in an earthquake, so should that happen, which it's about when, not if, there would be no crossing across the river, which really, these crossings are really important to East County cities. So we're really looking to have that one crossing post-earthquake that will still serve our community long term. Next slide, please. So just as I mentioned, this project is really all about assessing a historic resource. So a couple facts, you may already know this. As I mentioned, the Stark Street Bridge is formally a contributing resource to the Historic Columbia River Highway District designation, and that's a national designation. As we're moving through this process, while the bridge itself is not on the National Historic Register, it's likely to have formal historic standing due to its age and integrity. And ODOT is actually compiling a report of all of these sorts of bridges in Oregon, and this one actually has a unique feature in that it has like a pony truss on one end. It's not very unusual for bridges of this kind. So, it is a special bridge, and we're going to treat it as such, even though it maybe doesn't have the proper paperwork. We are actually also looking into the adjacent properties on the south side of the crossing. There's Sandy River Gardens and the restaurant there. Those actually were former sites of the Portland Automobile Club. As you can imagine, when the historic Columbia River Highway opened up, you've got cars just wanting to kind of go out, have a leisurely ride out in the scenic gorge area. So we are taking a look at those properties to see if there are any, if there's any historic standing there. And as I mentioned, we are looking at ways to preserve the existing bridge, and we're looking forward to coming back and sharing kind of the options later on, maybe the end of summer.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, I watched you all on council meeting, so you did your presentation. So if I could just interject a question at this point pertaining to the adjacent properties may have historic standing as it relates to being the former site of the Portland Automobile Club. What would be the significance of that having standing? Are you talking about just registering as such or utilizing that property in some way to somehow connect to preservation of use of somehow of the Stark Street along with whatever else may occur?
I think it will come down to how we would assess the impacts of whatever preferred alternative that we propose to move forward. So if we propose a project that cuts into one of those properties and it is deemed historic, that we would have to mitigate for that impact to a historic resource. So it's more about documenting the impacts and identifying mitigation should that property be deemed historic.
And if it's deemed historic and you have to mitigate, what does mitigation, I'm not quite understanding what that means.
Yeah,
More trees, aesthetics, what might that mean?
I think it's sorry, what?
Compensation?
That does happen through the non-historic related right-of-way process. And more about like honoring the history, more documentation, more sharing out of that piece of history. We obviously, it's a privately owned property, we can't like go in there and tell them what to do, but it's more about additional documentation, records, and public engagement probably around that piece of history.
Since we're stopped, just a little detail.
Yeah.
The Portland Auto Club was the property owned on the east side, the southeast corner that used to be Chunky Yoshida's, but it was the Portland Auto Club before that. Across the way, that was actually, long ago, it was a restaurant, like a tiny tavern kind of thing. And then Yoshida's bought that, and now Sandy River Gardens owns that as well, just for you guys moving forward.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We're limited right now in how much information we can really collect on both those sites. The property owner is, really, a little bit hesitant to kind of move forward with the process, but, we're going to continue to reach out and engage and kind of work with him to bring him along and about the project. Where we are today in the process, it's very high level. We're not at a point where we're like, we have money, we're going to do this, we're going to move forward. Let's start the right-of-way process. We're just very early. So right now we're just going to document what we can based on the access we have now. But if this project does move forward, then there'll be a more robust, rigorous engagement process with the property owner.
How wide are the existing lanes?
They're actually,
Yeah, 9 feet.
yeah.
Yeah,
9
9
feet,
feet right now,
yeah.
which is actually
Little snug.
a little snug compared to the standard 10 or 11 foot
Yeah.
lanes. Yeah.
And Ryan will walk through some great images.
You guys just got done repairing it
We
again.
did, yes,
Yeah.
yes. We
Yeah.
just finished the repairs today,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
Yep.
it looks nice again.
Thank you.
Again, yeah. Okay, next slide, please. So like I said, we're early in the process, kind of just at a high level. We have self-funded this current environmental review phase. We are looking for ways to fund the future design and construction phases while we're in the environmental review phase, and we may have some updates to share this year as we come back and review. So on the left, we kicked off this project late last fall. Just started to gather information in the area, some geotechnical information surveying, right-of-way understanding that type of information, and then we started to begin those conversations with local, state, and federal agencies that have jurisdictional authority, kind of to start walking through what does the environmental review phase process look like. And we also started to reach out to the community, kind of starting to raise awareness about the intention of the county doing this project. Here we are in spring. We're really are being more intentional with our community feedback. We have a live survey that's open till June 30th. That's really just gathering information about how people use the bridge, what they care about. We're gonna take that information in and process it as we develop a range of alternatives for a resilient crossing, as well as a list of draft evaluation criteria that we would then apply to the range to screen them down to a shorter list. We'll then come back in the summer and share that shorter list, and as well as our draft evaluation criteria for the public and other agencies to provide input on. And then we'll come back in the fall with a preferred alternative for everyone to review and consider and provide input on. And then if that alternative does indeed meet everyone's needs, we would then move that into the next phase, close out the environmental review phase, and of course, everything pending funding. So a couple opportunities that we'll be engaging with the public and this group over the coming year.
You said begin discussions with appropriate jurisdictions, and like who are those? And why would the feds be involved versus just the county, or, I mean, I guess it's for seeking grant funding.
Yes. Yeah, we want to be eligible for federal funding, but I think, so we want to be ready in that way, so making sure we're complying with the National Environmental Policy Act, which is a requirement at the federal level. But in addition to that, there are some jurisdictional groups out there that we'll be needing to coordinate closely with. I would say the most important one is Multnomah County Land Use, because they really are responsible for the code that protects the gorge scenic area. So anything we do will need to pass county code in regards to aesthetics and being visually subordinate, for example, to the surrounding area. But there's also Oregon State Parks with Dabney Park right there. We also will want, and because of the nexus with the historic Columbia River Highway, we'll be working with ODOT, who oversees that historic district. So there's just a lot of kind of agencies in that area that have carry a lot of weight on this project. Are there any others that I missed that you want to share from your repair project?
No, when we did the repair project, we did a lot of outreach to the local community members, to the school districts and other folks that use the bridge frequently. And I think we would just continue that effort moving forward. So there are a lot of, we know that this bridge is very important and it's very close to the hearts of the local communities. So we want to make sure that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I use that bridge all the time. I depend on it. I live out in Corbett. And I think one of the things that people are most concerned about is that the county has allowed big trucks to continue to use it and use it and use it. Finally drew a line and put signs up, but again, that's what happened to it. And it's costing the taxpayers millions of dollars to do something to both either repair it or replace it. Yet damage, will continue to occur. And what is anybody billed when they hit that bridge? Because they just, as an engineer, it may not show that damage the first hit or the second hit but by the time it gets hit 100 times, all of a sudden it's down. Yes. And are the people who hit it ever billed?
I'm not sure with that process. I know.
I tell you, people on my way want them to be billed.
So I know when we do emergency projects, when we have collisions to the bridges, we usually put out insurance claims, and I think that those go to whoever the owner of the vehicle or whoever the company is that they may be operating that vehicle for. So I would say yes. Yeah. In my experience, that is typically what happens. Is we. I don't want to use the word go after, but we do pursue an insurance claim against whoever causes that damage. Good. Because it's not fair to people that pay the tax dollars to be paying for somebody that is taking action that is inappropriate. Especially recently we put up signs and things like that to try and deter people from using that bridge.
Yeah,
so.
we appreciate that.
Along those lines, will this new bridge accommodate the semis?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
So we'll have more semi-traffic across Third Street.
So I would say that with the new bridge, it wouldn't be promoting more tractor trailer use, but it would definitely accommodate it so that we don't get into the issue that we had recently where a tractor trailer, and we'll see it here in a couple slides, where they try to make that tight turn and it doesn't go well. So the fact that we're increasing that cross section, the hope is that if there are trucks that need to use that, because there is a lot of agricultural and farm and people need deliveries.
Just so you know, sorry, but
Yes.
we did not have these problems until Amazon and FedEx went in.
That's fair, yes, I understand.
That's like, we were not having these problems. It's not the farmers that are hitting it.
Yes.
It is the commercial truck traffic from, they're making the wrong turns, they should have turned elsewhere, and they're being routed up, and they're too lazy to like make a loop and go back a different way. They decide that they're gonna try and take the shortest possible route, and they're the ones hitting it.
I know, and I hope that, with the signage that we've been putting up and maybe getting the word out more, that more users of larger vehicles will not try to take that risk. I know recently when we were doing this repair project, I was going out there for a site visit and I was behind a tractor trailer, and it's the exit just past the outlet malls. I was behind a semi-tractor trailer, and he got to that stop sign, and there's a sign there that says, "You can't go left." And he sat there for about 5 minutes, and you could tell it was going through his head, and he finally made the right and went off another route. But you could tell he was thinking about it because he was already kind of turned left, and then he took a wide turn and headed out. But yes, we don't want to promote it. There's, even before this bridge gets built, there's going to be people that take that risk, and I think it's our responsibility to.
Can we have cameras out that they're fined for doing it?
We've looked at that, and I think that's something that we've actually been talking to some folks in our asset management team that maybe we could try to put something out there.
Yeah.
I know we've spoken with ODOT recently about even putting in lights to slow people down, trying to put signs that say, you cannot turn on this.
Yeah.
But they want to preserve that historic nature of that bridge with trying to reduce any stop sign, lights, or anything like that, because they want it to be free-flowing.
Yeah, it's really not the speed, it's really the size of the rig and the inexperience of the drivers. Yeah.
I know, it's unfortunate. I think no matter how many measures we could put out there.
I think if you put fines, if you have a camera and you say, if you go across this bridge, you're going to be fined if you're this big, or, people will turn them in right and left. I mean, you'll get people will take their cameras, they'll take a picture, they'll call you, because they are sick of it.
Yes.
I have another question, I don't know if you can answer or not, but I used the Sandy River Bridge today, and I'm coming back to town from Corbett, and so I don't normally use it at this time, but as I was coming across, there was more traffic than usual because the bridge is closed, Stark Street's closed.
Yes.
There were 3 buses that will only go if there's no one coming their way. So they will stop. So there was 3 lined up waiting to go across the Sandy River Bridge.
No, they're both Sandy River. Are you talking about the Stark or the Troutdale?
Troutdale is actually officially Sandy River, but
Okay,
Troutdale
all right.
Bridge, sorry. Everyone interchanges. So they are lined up. So I don't know if that is a normal thing, or do they normally take Stark Street?
They would typically take Stark Street.
The buses, the
Yes.
school buses.
And I know when they take, I was out there recently doing traffic counts, and that happens on Stark Street as well, where even if you have 2 large, like say Ford F-150s, they'll take turns because it just gets way too tight on the bridge. But I did see that a lot where buses got backed up with other cars because they couldn't be on the bridge while other people were making
Coming towards them.
Yeah.
So that would help that problem.
Yes, ma'am.
I bet Nick had no idea this was going to be a hot button.
You guys brought up this bridge not too long ago.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring this into existence, so I was like, we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I gave an inkling of it might go along with questions, but.
No, these are great discussions,
You guys
yes.
cleared the agenda for us.
Yeah, I have one last one here. And I agree with, somebody spoke the other day, I think it was,
Diane just lied, by the way, she said it was the last one.
I live a couple of feet from the Troutdale Bridge, okay, so that house, so, but he mentioned about, he lives on the historic highway, once you've crossed to the east side of that bridge. I do think slower speed is good, only because there's Sugar Pine across the street from me. The area has grown trendy. A lot of people, we get some great advertisement from our city for this beautiful area. Now we have rafting and such. We're getting different crowds and a lot of people just coming here to like be one of the it places like Hood River is. And so I do think a slower traffic, because once you even get off the freeway and then you're going past Lewis and Clark Park, also the barricades haven't been moved where they typically are. So people are constrained as now they're trying to figure out, oh, it's a hot day, where am I going? So you've got that going on, and then you have the new fees, and then you have everything's curves. We're wanting Tad's Chicken and Dumplings to reopen again, and then you're to that next bridge. And then the view's amazing, and you're looking at the gorgeous water, and then if it's raining a lot, you're seeing the magnificent waterfalls. They're low. My point is that as a scenic area, that might just still be a calmer thing too, and I do know that possibly a couple of the big trucks that hit our bridge was going to Sugar Pine. And I don't know if Sugar Pine at some time said, we want smaller trucks because they were having trouble turning. We have that, we don't have the cutout on the bluff, so we don't have that angle that, that they have an option to, to do that, or to turn around, or oopsie, we made a mistake, so am I just gonna go this way, or am I gonna go that way, and when am I gonna be able to turn again? And a lot of these trucks that don't have alerts or whatever, they're taking risks that they normally wouldn't. So I live on that bridge, I've heard the bangs more than I care to hear, and then get stuck. So I'm just thinking, a calm, it's beautiful. Who wants to drive a high speed past the boat launch anyway? And then who wants to do it next to our bridge where there's different parking, there's a parking area there, and so on, Tad's, and then, like all the curves. So I am just thinking from getting off 84, they did put speed bumps too under the bridge. That's new.
Yep.
So I'm under the 84 cross. So that was already a comment like, hey, something's going on here, so slow her down, you just don't get a whiz by. Yeah. But that might be an attractive way to do it, without putting all the lights and all. I'm just throwing that out. Okay.
Yeah, I think we want to take a lot of what we're hearing about slower speeds, take it back to ODOT, maybe try to have a rethink on that, because I think they're hesitant right now. So
plus they're racing. Yes. They were racing like nobody's flipping business, because I'm there at night and I'm just caring about the people. They're racing across the bridge. They're doing these stunt things that are on TikTok and crap. Yeah. And then they got their cameras out and it's dark, and then they're zooming across the bridges. They're beautiful and stuff like that. But again, if it's saying it's a slower speed and then they're speeding, the ticket might be a little higher. Do you know what I mean? But and I don't know for just that couple of miles that people really need to do that higher speed. Just the few miles where it just inundation with.
I agree though. I don't think lights should go up. I think they need to find other ways. They could do traffic calming or something.
Yeah.
Thanks, we really appreciate that feedback. Thank you. Okay, next slide. I'll probably go quickly on this one since everyone here is very familiar with this area, but just trying to, for groups who are not, we just use this slide to kind of share just how this bridge serves many needs. So it's really nestled in an agricultural area and provides that farm to market connection for the farm community. It also, it's just, as you mentioned, it just serves everyday connection for life such as commuting, schools, emergency response. In addition to that, it's a gateway to recreation. So not only is there the Dabney State Park, but there's the gorge. So it's it serves many functions for this area. So with that, Ryan's kind of going to walk through kind of what we're dealing with the existing bridge.
Next slide, yes. So, so like we've alluded to thus far, we understand that the bridge is historic, it's beautiful, it is really close to a lot of folks in the community. What we're speaking to here is some of the really concerning highlights of the bridge with the current structure out there. So the first couple items there, you'll see there's a sufficiency rating, which is a number out of 100. And essentially what that is every 2 years we have our bridges inspected by ODOT. And they give it this rating based off of its serviceability, its public use, structural integrity, things like that. And it's at 25 right now. And per their rating, anything that's lower than 50 is considered deficient and should be replaced. So you can see this bridge is really in need of being replaced. I mean, built in 1914, it's past its service life. It's really served its purpose and should be replaced if we have the opportunity to. It's also weight and turn restricted, as we've spoken to already. Semi-tractor trailers should not be using the bridge. It also limits emergency vehicles that can use the bridge. So it makes it hard if, we have fire department or other emergency vehicles that have to get to somebody. They technically shouldn't be using the bridge. It has substandard geometry. So like we mentioned too before, it has 9-foot lanes. Typically those would be 11, 12 feet. So this is why you would see often, you'll see school buses that'll kind of queue at one side of the bridge until they have an opening. Even larger trucks, things like that. It has a very deteriorating wooden sidewalk, so that was added in after the fact. That kind of cantilevers off the side there on the left of this image. It's only 4 feet wide, so even if you have pedestrians and bicyclists using this sidewalk, it can get very tight. And it's also vulnerable to scour and earthquakes. So as you can see in the image, the foundations and the piles are all within the river. So as you get water rushing by it, that will slowly pull that sediment away, and that can leave the foundation of the bridges very vulnerable to any earthquake, or just vulnerable to kind of slowly deteriorating too when you don't have that material around it. So, next slide. So again, kind of talking to the substandard geometry, these are two great pictures that really offer a lot of insight into why we've seen a lot of accidents. And
going back, sorry.
Yeah,
Take advantage of a blank screen for a minute. The joists below, are those steel or wood? Is any of the framing a structural component wood?
Yes, so it has timber piles that the foundation is set on. So those are in the earth, and then the foundation that you saw in the previous picture sits on top of those. Wow. Similar to like Burnside and like in downtown and some of the older bridges. Yeah, before we did drilled shafts. Yeah. That was the method that they used.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So since 2017, we've had 36 recorded accidents, mainly due to this short cross-section width that we have here. As you can see, this picture on the right, that was the accident last October. He was much larger than some of the semis that use the bridge. And he found out about that, and he hit that north wing wall, ripped a chunk of it off, and then got stuck. County road maintenance had to go out there and actually pull the tractor trailer out, and then the truck itself. It has a very insufficient turning radius. As you can see on the picture on the bottom left, that's really tight for all of you that have been out there and used this bridge. I'm sure most of you have seen when there's a lot of traffic during rush hour, folks will kind of pile up there that are trying to make a right turn going east and then trying to turn left at the same time. And as you mentioned, Diane, you got people that are flying down east and west on those roads. It really has a lot of opportunity for more accidents. I'm surprised that number isn't higher. When I was out there for these two recent projects, we saw a lot of near misses. People like to stick out there on the highway, and it's a really cause for concern. And the hope is that with a new bridge, we can widen that out and offer more opportunity for a little more safety people that are leaving that bridge. Next slide. And then kind of speaking to the last couple of repair projects. So in the fall of 2024, you can see there that picture on the bottom left, that was the previous retaining wall. So it's essentially dry stack stone, which is a lot of those big river cobbles like you see, and they're basically stacked on top of each other and then packed with mortar, mud, other material like that. When it failed, they did an inspection and found that it actually wasn't constructed very well. So when they determined that maybe putting the rock back in and packing it again wasn't going to be sufficient, they ripped it out, as you see the picture in the bottom middle, and we repaired it with new moment slab walls, so essentially big thick walls that are tied to that abutment in the bottom right there of the bridge, to create a sufficient wing wall and structure for those folks that are exiting the bridge to the north. And just recently, we did an emergency repair, so that picture on the previous slide, the wall, can you move? Do you have like a, no, you can stay on that slide, sorry. I don't know if you have like a highlight or a mouse, but you can see just where that edge of that steel girder is on the bottom right picture. Yeah, at the top of that wall, that's where that truck hit. So essentially what we did with this emergency repair project is we thickened that wall. So if we do have trailers that try to take that risk and use the bridge, the hope is that that wall, now that it's 3 feet wide, will actually push that vehicle away from the bridge, and we won't get any hits on the actual steel members themselves. And like we mentioned earlier, that project just got wrapped up today. They did the final touches. And all of the traffic control will be removed and the signage will be taken down by road maintenance tomorrow. So it'll be back open for use regularly. Yeah, sorry?
Ahead of schedule.
Yes, yes.
So hopefully, yeah, you guys get cameras up, because the 36 reported accidents, I appreciate that you put reported, because it's been hit far more times, and if they're not high centered, if they're not cut, they're going. They're gonna get out of there. They don't care if they've hit it, they just wanna get out of there and move on, so.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, no, just, I lose my thoughts. So I've got, looking at that, a little bit more insight to why slower is better. My son happens to have his second car is a Miata, and he loves to go to Corbett. He works for DFW. When he's on the bridge, and then he wants to take a right heading towards Springdale Corbett, he can't see.
Yes.
He has to pull out further because his car is low, and the beautiful rock wall is a little bit higher. So there's an obstacle. So he pulls out, and he said he's almost been hit while pulling out to then to proceed right.
Yes.
Okay, so more comment.
Yeah, no.
You're welcome.
Recently, for this project, we did a traffic count to see if we wanted to make the bridge a little wider to accommodate a left turn off of the north side of the bridge. And to your point, I saw that at least a few handfuls of times where someone would pull out to make a right turn, and they would think that it's clear, and they'd pull out a little more, and they would go, and someone would fly by going at least 60 miles an hour, like they were cruising. And it was, yeah, I had to back up in my car because I was sitting right on the north end of the bridge, and I felt like I was in a bad spot, because if those two cars collided, I was like right in that apex of where they'd end up. So yes, that north end, it's, yes, it can be very dangerous. And especially if there's rain or anything like that, you're just adding another element into a very risky situation. And that's all that I have, so I will pass it back to Megan.
Great, just a few more slides here. Just want to touch on how we're centering public involvement and community engagement with this project. It's very interesting because at the county we also maintain 6 Willamette River bridges in downtown, and while those bridges are more well known and a lot of people use them, there's not a lot of people are using them as they pass through town. They're not really, the community and neighborhood surrounding them is actually quite small. And I'm finding out in East County, when we work on bridges, everyone is interested and everyone cares because it is a community and neighborhood asset. So We're really eager to get out there and share with the community what this project is all about and hear what everyone has to say so that their input can really inform how a future bridge is designed. We want to have a number of engagement opportunities as we proceed with this project, and Ryan shared with me often how much he's learned so much through these emergency repair projects, just who uses the bridge and what they care about. So we'll be keeping our relationships strong and build them stronger with the school districts, first responders, corporate residents, and then we're also learning a lot about the Wards National Scenic Area and, as I mentioned before, how that will impact this process. So, next slide. As I mentioned, we have a survey link live. You can find it at our website, starkstreetbridge.org. It's very much about general awareness around this project and a few questions about how the bridge is used. So it's open now. We've been working with Troutdale, City of Troutdale, to push the survey out through social media to ensure we're capturing Troutdale residents in this survey. So that's available right now. And just one last slide, just kind of share about what we're working on in terms of future funding. There are a couple avenues we're exploring right now. A congressional appropriation. We have one in Bonamici's office, which would fund a portion of the design phase. We also submitted a build grant for a portion of the design phase as well. I believe we should hear back about that in June. And if we're not successful, we'll try again. We are working on submitting a bridge investment program grant by the end of this month. If we're not successful, it's an opportunity to get feedback on our project and just make sure our application is better than next time. There also are formula funds that come through the federal government into a local agency bridge program. I believe the new transportation authorization bill does actually increase that amount that comes to local agency bridges, so that might be good for this project. Unfortunately, this project is way more expensive than the county road fund can budget. This project, we're thinking the construction phase could be $35 million, so we're really dependent on the federal funds. Should we get a federal infusion, there's an opportunity to go to the state and ask for maybe some last-in dollars. So we really are just hoping to kind of get something in the door that we can build on in terms of momentum. The project is a wonderful project. It really sells itself. It's a great candidate for federal funds. So those are some things that we're working on and that we will, of course, if we have any good news on that front, we will share at our next briefing with this group. So that's it. That's what we had for today. I know we've answered a lot of questions along the way, but if there's any other questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Question. I know there are a lot of people who are pro and also against the replacement of the bridge. From a historic perspective, could you essentially, cut the bridge in half, make it wider, and continue to use the structural components of the sides, and then replace the bridging in between and supports underneath, bolster everything, make the pilings and the piers and the abutments strong, bring them up to code. But so essentially it'd look like the same bridge historically, but be have 12-foot lanes.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a creative solution. I think it comes down to the engineering of the existing truss. Well, modifications need to be made so much that it loses that aesthetic, historic quality, and that's really in the engineer's. That's the engineer's job to kind of develop those plans. And I would say we suspect it will kind of not look that great if the engineering proved out. But it's definitely an option that we can explore.
And when you have to do it, how long do you anticipate, I'm guessing because the way Stark lines up, you know, the other side, you've got some flexibility. It could be kind of like the Selwood Bridge where you build another bridge right alongside of it. You probably can't do that here unless you went through the parking lot. And I guess that could be done. You could go through the parking lot of the old Riverview restaurant and reroute Stark temporarily and then make that other repair.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. You know, from start to finish, if you said, okay, we've got our plan, we know what we're gonna build, everybody's ready to go, boom, bridge is closed, how long is it gonna take to do it?
We were talking about 2 years.
Yes, 2 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and I think that if we're really interested in exploring this option of preserving the existing bridge during construction to continue to have it serve the community, because we know that's such a critical crossing. It would be a huge impact if we closed it for that long. So, you know, we'll be exploring that. I don't think we could keep it open the whole time, but because it's a very constrained site, so there's not a lot of room for the contractors to really do the work. So there will be some closures, but it at least gives us a tool in our toolkit to minimize closures during construction.
I know it's been closed before. How long was it closed not this time, but the time before?
6 months.
But for 2 years for the Troutdale Bridge to take that traffic. Worries me.
Well, it's not just the Troutdale Bridge, it's, I mean, a lot of people then just bypass, they don't go, they will go to, you're right, I mean, Troutdale Bridge does get hit a lot more for
And
it.
if you're coming from Corbett, coming into Troutdale, you're gonna take the Troutdale Bridge.
Yeah, some people go actually out to the freeway
Come in.
and come in that way.
I just wonder if that's even an option that it'd be mandatory to bypass,
Go the other way.
not so much stress on the Troutdale Bridge. Do we know what the rating is on the Troutdale Bridge?
I'm not aware of that, but we can look it up and, yeah. we
Because
can
I know
reach
it
out to you all.
needs some TLC.
Don't look at the rating, they'll condemn us.
I know, that's what I'm
What
worried
kind of
about.
score, do you want to be lower than 50? Let's not look, no, just kidding,
It'll be lower than 25.
Yeah,
just kidding.
we can't go
Yeah.
without both of them simultaneously.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get Gordon Creek open up again?
I think that project just started, so they're.
Really?
Yeah, my understanding, I was speaking with one of my colleagues and I think that they were like getting ready to get the contractor bid open and.
Oh, in that way, okay, because I'm like, I haven't seen any work on it.
Yeah, no, I think it's like imminent, like they're like trying to like, you know, do all the final touches to get everything executed, so, yeah.
But I think it'll still take a few months to
Yeah, yeah.
get that
Oh,
project.
for sure, yeah. It's not a huge deal, I mean.
Are there any other county roads or projects, since we're here?
What
that
about the
you-
Clackamas County, what about the Bull Run Bridge?
That is Clackamas County.
Right.
It's happening.
What are they gonna do? Are they gonna replace it? Did they get funding?
My understanding that project's funded and that it will be a replacement.
That's great.
Yeah, interestingly enough, there's pieces of the original 1896 Burnside Bridge in that.
Oh, that's where it is.
There's like little, I think they're like what are those called, steering wheels?
Yeah, circles, yeah.
They're like in that bridge as like a decorative feature, and Clackamas County was so nice to reach out and said, would you like these when we demo the bridge? I was like, yes. So
Yes, that's cool.
very interesting.
I knew that one of those bridges was from Portland, but I always assumed it was like the Stark Street. Because it wasn't the Troutdale. So it's amazing that they got parts of that all the way up there, because that's a jog.
Yeah, I think another part of the original Burnside went into the original Selwood as well. It was just very common back then to swap out pieces and parts.
Sure, might as well reuse it.
There are historic photos of the Stark Street Bridge, but it was wood.
Oh, the bridge before?
Bridge before this one, yes.
Oh, I don't know if we've spent the time to dig those up, but yeah, there was a wooden bridge. Actually, I
She
think.
might have them, is what she's saying.
Well, the historical society would have them.
Oh, yeah, we'll be briefing the board soon, and yeah, maybe we can talk more about that. But actually, those abutments are from the original wooden bridge that was there before this one.
So the quality of the concrete's not great.
And there's probably no rebar at all. Yeah.
Well, it's probably kind of.
I have a question. When the trucks sometimes get stuck on Troutdale Bridge or Stark Street Bridge, are some of them unaware? Like, do they get to that point? Has anybody talked to them and they go, oopsie, I figured out I couldn't, I got scared, I try to make it anyway. Because my point is that there's nothing that says turn around. It's like, where is that turnaround?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they're coming there and then it's like last minute, I don't know if they're a new driver, I don't know what, and then they're just like, just go for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure what percentage of that is the big trucks. And then, like, I was trying in my head to think, where is a good turnaround? Do you know what I mean? And is it the Springdale firehouse? I mean, what?
That's a ways.
I mean, I know, but if they knew, turn around 2 miles, I'm just saying, I don't know if that helps or not, because I don't know how many people do that, like oopsie doopsie. Do you know what I mean? And you just get kind of freaked. Do you know what percentage, or when people do that, do they say excuse me, sir, how did this come about? Okay.
I know with this recent hit, it was not an oopsie because they could tell by the way that it hit the structure that he hit it and he kept going. And then he got stuck because he got stuck on the wall.
Well, once you do it, you just flip and go for it, but I'm saying.
A lot of them do that. They've even threaded those, they've threaded the guardrails before, just guardrails, and they're just trying to like go, and they're just like, buddy, you are straddling that. You
can tell by this last hit that I don't think he was even paying attention because he started pulling the railing back with him. So like, yeah, but I couldn't give you an answer to that. Mine would be.
You kind of see where I'm going with that. It is, during a certain season, we had a whole bunch of new truckers, and it's like, you figured out you maybe couldn't, but if I don't, then what am I going to do? And then I'm just going to try. I'm just going for it. Just a thought, like if there was a turnaround, what would that be?
Okay, this is my opinion on the Troutdale's Bridge, the Sandy River Bridge. So here you are on the north side, and if you are traveling north on the historic highway, if you are going this way, when you turn here, you have to like turn and do this weird thing. And I'm like, why? Because this car does not need to be that far, and like you should be able to do this, but you guys can have this line planted way over there, and people are supposed to do that. Why? I hate it.
I think that has to do a lot with that constrained,
It's a terrible design. You guys can fix that.
Yeah.
You can fix it, you can do it. And so this doesn't change that, but it makes it better for these cars turning. And instead they're, and it slows them way down.
No, I guess. Yes.
Thank you.
Get a number.
It's just not a good design right there. It's like, what were they thinking? Like,
It was probably somebody well before these guys, though.
oh, no. I'm not gonna blame them. Sure. I'm not blaming you guys personally. Yeah, but if you could fix it, it'd be great. It's just some lines, like just figure out that. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. We love the discussion.
Really interesting presentation and discussion. We appreciate it. I certainly appreciate it a lot because we use all of our bridges and they're lifelines for us. So,
We're sentimental about them.
yeah, there's sentimentality and also very practical use, and we don't like people abusing them, and we want to take care of them and be good stewards of taxpayer dollars too, so we appreciate your thoughtfulness.
Wonderful. Well, we're hoping to come back late summer with an update on our range of options. So you guys are probably the most bridge group we've briefed so far, even though you're a historic landmark commission. So I'm sure we'll get into a lot of weeds with this group, and that would be fun for us.
Okay, great. Yeah, try it out on us first.
Oh, sorry, got one last thing.
Okay.
A drunk driver hit, we heard it, they hit our historic entrance to our Troutdale Bridge on the right-hand side. Somebody, I made sure, we called the cops and whatever, and we told them they better take the cap. The cap of it went down, the stonework, because it was that Italian stonework done from the origination of the historic Columbia River Highway, and also the arch part that has slumped. And that, I forget when that accident happened, we called 911, and it just bolted into it, and we haven't seen anything happen to it, and it just historically, it means a lot. Do you know what I mean? That was original, and we made sure that was taken care of right away, and somebody took that, so it was preserved, because that top part is all preserved, but then, again, the arch is failing. So, and I don't know, since you're engineering, I don't know who has those pieces now and what's going on with that, but just saying that those pieces are important and hoping that that gets restored.
Yeah, I think that's something that we could definitely reach out to ODOT. I think they're
Thank you.
the owner of that bridge, but we could ask that
Right.
question. I know we have coordination meetings with them.
South side of the west end of the beautiful Italian stonework. Thank you, appreciate that.
Great, thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for having us. This was great, yeah.
Look forward to having you back.
Yes.
Did we give you more discussion than council? Sorry? Did we give you guys more discussion than council?
Oh, yes, this was much
yeah.
longer. I think we were only chatting for maybe 20 minutes, so this was a lot more discussion than the last meeting, for sure.
Half the number of people.
Yeah.
And the mayor was the chair of the Troutdale Historic Society, so he was very interested in hearing about options that preserve.
Thank you, guys. You have a
Thank
good
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Safe driving out there.
Thanks.
All right, can I see that real quick? All right, okay, so next is electing a new TCAB representative, since I believe Frank held that position. Is anyone interested in that position?
Well, I sit on the TCAP, so.
You already sit on it. Okay. Leanne, are you, and Diane already sits on it. Are you interested in it?
I nominate Aaron Jansen.
For what it's worth, they don't meet too often.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
They don't meet very often. And lately, it's been much less often than it used to be, for what it's worth.
I could give it a try. I'm fine with that.
Do we have a second?
I'll second Aaron's nomination.
All right. Thank you all, but, all right, you only got me with they don't meet very often.
I thought it might help.
And, you know, I can always come back. All right, discussion. So we're going to brainstorm HLC next projects ideas. Nick has...
Real quick, Chair.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I do have to drop early, so.
No worries, no worries. We're going to be done by 8:30, because that's that's when the chariot turns into a pumpkin, so.
Yeah.
But I understand. Thanks for being here, Adrian.
No worries.
I just saw we've got Dawn on.
She entered my neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Been here a little while.
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Oh, she can't see anything. No one can see anything. Sorry about that. You know, I'm reluctant to brainstorm too many projects before we have our big project done, because it's another way that we could get distracted, and I don't want to do that. I don't know, how does everybody else feel about that? I mean, I think it might be better to, especially given that we've just had a fairly long presentation and discussion, I am proposing that we start thinking about that without losing sight of our current project first. And then maybe we move this brainstorming next projects to next month. And in the meantime, let's find out where are we at on our current, on Hungry Hill. I think that's the most important thing in my mind right now.
So we are scheduled to go to council on August 12th.
Okay.
And then from there, we'll have 2 meetings, so introduction, and then the next one they'll vote on it.
So
should be by September, we should have approval. And then after that, we will get the ball rolling on like what started this whole thing with the sign topper designs. So really until...
Why is it not being heard until August?
They have a recess, and then I think just existing schedule.
Okay. But that's the soonest we could get on there.
Yeah. So we're on the books.
We're on the books. Okay, well, at least we're on the books. Yeah. Is there anything else for us to do in between now and then on the HLC? Can we get going on the toppers this summer? Can we start working on those, or is there a reason to wait? I don't think anybody anticipates that this won't be approved.
Yeah, I could talk to Erica about how we want to proceed with that.
Yeah.
Because I know we have like a few, at least last time we were looking at kind of those designs, and then we were creating like edits or things we change.
Yeah.
So I'll see if she wants to go back to that, or if she wants to like hire like a consultant to try it again and get different designs, or whatever direction, how she wants to start that.
Okay, that'd be great.
But I can ask her, and then we can talk about it.
That would be fantastic, thank you, because otherwise we're just,
We could use this time between now and August as summertime. Take a little break.
Yeah, take some breaks. I agree.
Go busy vacationing and such.
Yeah, but I don't want to lose too much momentum, because you know what happens when we do.
Right, I know, like we start over.
Yeah, and so maybe what we could do is, how do you guys feel about taking next month off, or would it be better to meet next month, come back, find out about sign toppers, then maybe we take July off and meet maybe in August after that, and we can get started on the sign toppers at that point. Does that sound good to people? Does that sound good, Donna? Great. Okay. You can't see us, but we can see you. Sorry about that.
I think Paul has a question as well.
Okay, Paul?
Nick, I was just looking at my calendar. August 12th is a Wednesday. Council meets on Tuesdays. And also, I think their summer break is they skip the second July meeting and they skip the first August meeting. So I don't think they'd meet again until August 25th.
I might have written the wrong date down, it sounds like. But rest assured, we will be at council in August.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Any updates from you, Nick, about things going on in the city?
I have a few events. Let's see. So June 20th is the Sharon Nesbitt Park.
Can you elaborate on that? I was in communication with her daughter. Didn't know anything about it. Is this a bigger deal than the initial dedication of that, or?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Or is it more of kind of like a summer kickoff?
I think it's more of a summer kickoff. So sort of thing, but
Are
let
you
me.
gonna have words for Sharon again? Is it gonna be a rededication? I mean, daughter's wondering if she,
City of Troutdale invites the community to Summerfest, a free celebration marking the grand opening of Sharon Nesbitt Heritage Park.
okay, so it's the grand opening of the park, but not the dedication. The dedication's already been opening.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So Sharon's not gonna be recognized in any
You
way
need
other
to talk to
than.
Marley about that. Because I thought that's the main reason, I mean, it was a combo, but first, it was always to have a party celebrating Sharon, but you know, like we had the first thing, just kind of, what was that called even?
Dedication.
Dedication, yeah. So you might ask her she might have, I would think, a little bit more information about how much of it is Sharon
Okay.
and what she would like her participation to be, and if there is anything extra that goes along with that.
Okay. Did you wanna keep this paper? Cause I've just made a mess of it. Thank you.
Yeah, based on the description, I'm not sure how much Sharon there will be. It says festivities, including a strolling parade with a drum corps, dancers, baton twirlers, live music, dancing, llamas, face painting, lawn games, free treats, and sidewalk chalk art.
Is this all happening at the park, or is it happening on the street and
I think
slowing down
it's
there?
all in that vague area. It sounds like a lot to all happen at the park, so
Yeah.
I want to say it's probably not all happening there.
I don't know if they're closing the
Maybe
street.
park in like the depot, where Marley works, the visitor center.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to get a bunch of people down there.
Yeah. And then I wrote down, First Friday is starting up again, starting June 5th.
Friday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be June, August, September, is that right? They're skipping July because that's a Friday.
I think so, yeah.
And we're gonna skip July also.
Yeah.
So that'd be the,
He's talking about the first Friday events, right?
yeah. So, yeah, that'd be 4th of July.
Yeah, so it's incompatible.
That's all.
Anybody have any questions, comments? Questions for Nick?
I do. It's a stretch, but the old city hall. Is there anybody that's a restaurateur or whatever that's? I know they were talking about some brewery from Gresham. Do you know if that's changed or?
We haven't seen anything
Okay.
that would indicate someone's moving in.
The only reason I'm saying it, and this might sound a little extreme, the city sold it for $1. Okay, and we were hoping to get something, and we were I think the city was kind of lured in with Wayfinder, this elite English bar with restaurateur.
Away days?
Away days, okay, away days. Do you
Wait,
know?
I'm gonna ask a question. Should we bring the meeting to a close and then
Okay,
have
okay,
this
that's-
discussion so we could stop recording?
Okay, that sounds good to me. Thank you. So
All right, we're
have nothing.
concluding the meeting, wrapping it up. Thank you. Sorry we didn't see you here today. You weren't able to make it, Donna, but hopefully we'll see you next month.
Oh, she doesn't see us.
She can't see it.
No, I was trying to get my hand in the camera.
No, it's just gold.
Bye, Donna.
There's still the testimony table.
That's that one.
What's
That
that?
laptop pointing that way.
Oh.
I'm gonna